mechanical damage on different levels is what we're going to talk about today. And after that, we're going to hop into chemical damage because there's different levels to this. Now, before we get started, make sure you go ahead and subscribe here to my channel. Comment as you watch this video. And if you don't know what to say, baby, make sure you go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe. And if you don't know what to comment, it's super easy because we know some of Mary's little lambs are going to be in the comments. So comment a sheep emoji for all of the little sheep that are going to have a problem with this video, because this is going to be full of unpopular opinions. So again, if you don't know what to comment, find a sheep emoji and put that in the comments, because you know they're going to be coming from your Google. So here we go. The hair shaft is broken down into 3 bonds, and today we're going to be going over the hydrogen bond and the salt bond and the disulfide bond. Right now we're talking about the salt bond. So notice how in some places it looks like she has heat damage. Well, this is a woman who hasn't had heat on her hair in a very long time. So the straighter pieces that you are seeing in her hair are coming from a damaged salt bond. All right, so when we are talking about the damaged salt bond, you damage the salt bond in the hair by adding highly acidic products. So your apple cider vinegar and most of the homemade products that you use, even some of the people who are making products in their house and selling it to you guys, a lot of the products that they're selling to you, their acidic levels are way too high and breaking down the hair shaft, causing different hair shaft disorders. And now, in this case, she did have a hair shaft disorder, but it was less on the severe side as it pertains to holes, rips, and tears within the cuticle. Hers was more so towards breakage, right? And the bonds and the hair shaft being weakened. So she got multiple treatments this day in particular, which made her hair strong enough for me to be able to silken it out and so I can see it. Straightening her hair out has nothing to do with her being ashamed of her race or anything like that. And it's really important that we understand these things. On the screen is a cosmetologist that shares my sentiment, where it's like there are so many things that Team Natural taught y'all that was so wrong. And even when you go see a professional cosmetologist, the first thing we're going to tell you to do is stop with the oils, the butters, and the greases. But most of the time you put a cosmetologist just in the scenario as like one of your hair maids, like, girl, you just the one that's supposed to be trimming my hair and blow drying it because I can't do it myself, and you don't respect her as a scientist. But most professional cosmetologists are telling you the same thing, and the ones that are not are the ones that you kind of should stop going to. The ones that are saturating your hair with oils and greases and butters are the people you should stop listening to. But see, the thing is, the people who are telling you the wrong things are the people that make you feel good. So when I say the things that I'm about to say in the video, it may make you feel away, but don't do that, because the thing is, the things that come out of my mouth are meant to make you uncomfortable, because it is only when you are uncomfortable that your mind opens, that you start to research, and then you begin to make a change. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to make you feel good. I am here to put up a mirror to you and to cause you to start thinking for yourself. Because the reality of the situation is, when it comes to Team Natural, with things of that nature, anytime somebody makes a debunking video against me, what they're really doing is insulting your intelligence. Because to say, like, don't listen to her, she's saying that the scalp doesn't need oil. The women who are on YouTube are grown women. Y'all are adults. So you're not stupid. You can't be taken advantage of by me telling you different things about the human body. You can't be taken advantage of like that. All that can happen is you will stop for a minute and use your mind, because all I'm really doing is telling you that you have everything that you need inside of you. When they're telling you you need a liquid or oil and a cream and a butter and a grease and rice nipple juice, I'm saying all you need is a shampoo, conditioner, and a leave-in conditioner. You don't need oil because sebum comes from your scalp. And if you change your patterns and your routines, you can get it out. It's so easy, it's so simplistic, and it's so affordable. So these are the things that I really want you guys to think about. So at this point, I am blow drying her hair, even though it may look like I'm using a lot of attention. YouTube, I don't know if y'all know this, but YouTube gives you the ability to like zoom in. So at any time you can pause and zoom in on my round brush. And when you do that, you will see that there's no hair in my brush, none. So none of the breakage is coming from me. There is no breakage whatsoever coming from me. All I am doing is reinforcing her cuticle, right? The cuticle is so important. And if you want to know even more about the cuticle and a more detailed breakdown of the cuticle, the epicuticle layer, which is what I am strengthening right now, then make sure you check the video link in the description box below, y'all, because I break so many things down here on my channel. And I think the thing that confuses most people, or not confuses most people, or people are like, okay, you're telling us all of the stuff not to do, but you're not telling us what to do. Well, the thing is, the thing that you have to do first is stop doing all of the things that you've been doing. The problem is everybody just wants, okay, tell me what product to put on my hair to make it better. No, because a product isn't gonna make your hair better. You stopping the processes and the patterns and routine that have been damaging it, that's what's gonna stop it. So yes, if you want to know what to do, stop doing the things that I'm telling you to stop doing. And I'm only addressing it like this because I get that comment at least 10 times a day. Oh, I'm watching your videos. You're telling us all the stuff not to do, but what are we supposed to do? Well, if you really pay attention to what I'm saying, I give you a replacement every time. But the problem is you have become so brainwashed into believing that drying your hair with a blow dryer or using electronics and plugging anything in is bad for your hair. So anything that I say is dismissed because I'm not telling you to air dry your hair. There is no race of woman on earth that air dries her hair all the time and adds oils and greases and butters to their hair all the time, and their hair is healthy. And the problem that women have is they'll be like, oh, well, Indian women, they do this and that to their hair and their hair is long. But what y'all don't understand is Indian women get alopecia too. It's not the same forms of alopecia that we get, like CCCA and traction alopecia, but they get alopecia too. And I'm going to go into all of the different forms of alopecia so we can stop doing that. Because even when I talk about alopecia, the first thing you see in the comments is like, I know why they have alopecia. It's because of the weaves, and all of the different closure wigs. That's what's making women bald. After all, no, it's not. Traction alopecia, CCCA, androgenetic alopecia. These are all different forms of alopecia with a bunch of different causes, you guys. So we need to get out of the habit of every time I make a video or somebody posts a video about something that attacks Black women, the first thing you want to do is, that's because we wear weaves. I've also had so many people get their comments deleted because they're leaving comments like, this is in the Bible, it's in Revelations that Black women will be bald. It's like, oh my God, it's, you guys, we have to get to a point where we're able to have intellectual conversations and completely separate all of the old things that used to keep everybody bogged down and just layering all of these things on top of each other. It's not that deep. It's only about the science. Let's stick to that. All right. So at this point, her hair is completely dry, right? Her scalp is completely dry. And now I have the heat on, a heat that is secure enough for her porosity. I do not remember it. This video is over 6 years old. All right. Now, the next thing that I am doing, of course, is straightening her hair. You saw me spray heat protectant on. Heat protectant is very, very important. It is a polymer. I had a comment before with somebody saying, oh, You know, back in the day, we used to straighten our hair with Marcel irons with no heat protector, and we were fine. Baby, they had heat protector. You just didn't know exactly what it was, because now, today, in 2024, right, Black women are put on this, in this position where they have to tell you every piece of everything that they're doing as they're doing hair. But our mothers and grandmothers back in the day, girl, they were not sitting there explaining to you step by step by step by step, day by day, what they were doing to your hair. Absolutely not. They knew exactly what they were doing, and you were going to sit there and trust them, and your hair was thriving. But trust and believe, they were using heat protected back in the day. All right. My mom took me to get my hair done on a regular basis, and there was always heat protected used. My auntie and my grandma did hair, and they both used heat protected. So that is a myth, Sugarfoot. And if your grandmother never used it on you, your grandmother didn't know what she was doing. Okay? So at this point, as her hair is getting straighter and straighter, you can see the different lines of demarcation, and you can see the true density of her hair. And the reason that most women will come into me to get their hair straightened is not because, oh, they were ashamed of being a Black woman, and being a Black woman was just so hard, and they were so sick of doing it, and they just wanted to escape the reality from being a Black woman and get their hair straightened. No, that's not what happened. That's not why women came and sat in my chair. Not at all, right? They were at a place where they're like, okay, I've been doing my hair like this. I've been no heat for this long. I want to see the results of that. And then they would come stand in my chair, and this would be the reality. Now, it would be about 60-40. About 60% of the women that came and sat in my chair were already like, okay, I understand that my practices have been kind of whack. I understand what you've been saying, right? What I've been seeing you saying, or somebody that was in my situation referred me to you, and I sent you the pictures of my hair, so I already understand. But, you know, can you figure out a way where I can keep some length, some density? So, okay, no problem. And that is what we would do. But there's no way that I will be able to see her hair and the true density of her hair if I was just leaving it wet. This is going to ruffle a couple of feathers, but I'm sorry. By the end of this video, you're going to see what I mean by when I say that, you know, people that say, oh, yeah, I don't go to a regular cosmetologist because they're not trained in team natural practices. They're not natural hairstylists. Girl, if you don't beat it with a bat, when we compare the level of technique and the amount of work that you have to do to the human hair shaft when you are a regular cosmetologist versus, I'm doing a quotation marks with my fingers, a team natural hairstylist, girl, bye. I can teach my 12-year-old daughter how to do the same stuff that they're going to do when you go in the salon. They're going to wash your hair. Most likely there will be an additional charge. They're going to wash your hair for you. They're going to deep condition your hair for you. And then they're going to slap enough products in your hair for you to start a small business. They're going to slap a crap load of hair products in your hair and then cut your hair wet. Style it real quick with some edge control or whatever putty. Send you home with a couple of products for you to emulate what they just did. And you're going to pay about $200 for that. So I'm sorry, but that is no comparison to what professional cosmetologists do in a hair salon. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's just not. I'm sorry. And if you feel away about that, feel away. The thing that's funny to me sometimes is when I say things like this, it's like, oh, you're insulting to Black women who decide to wear their hair natural. But has anybody ever thought about how the team natural community has made Black women who've dedicated their lives to studying the science of hair, the science of the human body, and the science of the scalp to make sure that our clients get the best of the best. Have we ever thought about that? No, we haven't. So I'm not thinking about the way that y'all feel about that. Okay. So as you can see, at this point, we went ahead and got rid of most of the damage, right? And you will see that when most of our damage is gone, the density and the fullness in our hair is going to increase like something you've never seen before, right? I mean, extra, but the density is going to increase a lot in her hair because we're getting rid of all of that dead weight. Now, a lot of times, this is the part where it's really, really scary for most people because it's like, oh my God, no, I don't want to cut my hair. I don't want to get rid of everything. You're not supposed to cut your hair. But you guys, in the same studio that I'm doing hair to right now, there will be women who work across the hall for me. Most of their clients will only be coming in for trims, and their hair would be down their back, like past their butt, and they would not miss a day, to the point that I knew their schedule. Like if I've been working in this building for 4 years and every 8 weeks you come to get a trim, I knew her clients by name because I knew every 8 weeks I'm going to see Megan, I'm going to see Ashley, I'm going to see Brittany, and come in the back. So these are the things that I really want y'all to think about. That's why they're able to retain length. Your hair is always growing. And this is the thing. The reason that hair products have been a scam, hair growth products have been a scam, is because they all know that the only thing that's happening is you're slowing down your hair growth cycle because you keep adding all these oils and butters to your scalp. So you're slowing down your hair growth cycle and causing scalp inflammation. So they give you oils full of rosemary, give you oils full of peppermint, right? Full of menthol, eucalyptus, all of these different additives, right? And all of these additives are going to kill the infection, which is going to get your hair growth cycle moving as normal. Like as normal, it's not growing your hair, it's just killing the infection that slowed down the hair growth cycle. And then once the infection is gone, the hair growth cycle is going to speed back up. It's going to be back on track. And then once the hair growth cycle is back on track, then you'll notice growth. And if your practices remain well, you'll retain length. But the thing is, most of the time your practices aren't good because all you're doing is the lock method. Your wash and goes. Like I get so many people comment like, oh, Sin, you know, my hair has been stuck at shoulder length, and no matter what I do, it won't grow. Can you tell me why it won't grow? And then I always answer your question with a question, and most times you can answer the question yourself. You'll say something like, "Oh, well, I wet my hair every day, and then I put it in a ponytail," and then you'll answer the question for yourself. That's why you're not able to retain length because your hair is weak. It's wet in a ponytail all day. It's things like this that slow down the hair growth cycle. It's things like this that prevent Black women from having long hair. So that's why when you watch these videos online and you see Black women say things like, oh, yeah, well, we can't grow long hair because it's genetic. That is a lie from the pits. It's a lie. Black women can have hair to their butt just like everybody else, but Black women will not take accountability of the mechanical damage that they put on their own hair that limits the length retention. That's just it. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to hear because accountability is probably the number one thing that holds Black women back in my opinion. And that's in everything, in relationships, when it comes to your hair, your skin, your nails, your job, everything. Accountability. Oh my God, if we could be accountable for the things that we do, because you only gain wisdom through your experiences. But the only way you can pick the wisdom out of the experience is if you're accountable. If you say, okay, the wisdom that I'm going to pick out of my experience from here, okay, I joined Team Natural and I've been doing that for 12 years, but my hair is at the same length that it was. It feels really weak when I straighten it out and see through. Okay, what are the things that I did to get me there? Why I didn't get me here? Oh, because hair is weakest when it's wet. Oh, because these oils cause scalp inflammation. It made some of my hair follicles die out. That's why my hair is getting thinner. Okay, I get it. And by you understanding what you did wrong, you can reverse it. Okay, I kept putting oils in my hair. Let me stop putting oils in my hair and see what happens. Okay, I was putting tea in my hair. Let me stop putting tea in my hair and drink it and see what happens. These are the things that I want you to think about. But because we're not accountable and because we're always looking for a fix, we never get here, ever. And it's exhausting for the people who are trying to help. But I'm not exhausted. I have more than enough energy. Number two is chemical damage. Now, this is one of the clients that I had that never listened to anything that I had to say. Ever, 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 ever. Ever. But I only did her hair once every blue moon, like literally maybe once a year, if even that, maybe once a year. So in this case, she's not getting a keratin treatment, but I am using products high in protein and a product that does have a little keratin coating on it. I taught you guys about keratin and all of that in the video, link in the description box below. So go watch that so you can understand the difference between bond reconstructors and keratin treatments. No, I did not use a keratin treatment on her hair. No, I did not. But when we're talking about keratin, we are talking about something that adds artificial layers, artificial cuticle layers to the hair shaft temporarily is what we're talking about. So again, if you want to know more about that, check the video link in the description box. But no, like I said, no, I am not. I did not put a keratin treatment on her hair. No, I didn't. No, I did not. Okay. Okay. So at this point, I am combing through her hair. Now, I know you guys see on social media like, oh, you start from the ends and work your way up to the roots. Well, when you have a person that has this type of damage, there are certain techniques that you have to do. And starting from the bottom and going to the top was not the best course of action for how over processed her hair was. Now, I was never responsible for any chemicals or anything that was in her hair. She colored her own hair herself on a regular basis, and she did not want to do any trims like the type of trims that she did to even it out. And you'll see what I mean in a second. You're going to see multiple hair shaft disorders that she has. You guys already saw the knots at the very, very beginning. And they do pop up quite a few times as I am combing through her hair. But you won't be able to see it because I did go ahead and speed it up. Now, I will say she was a really sweet girl. She's a really sweet girl. So that's the only reason that, I mean, I won't use the word sweet, but she was cool. So, I mean, that was the only reason that I really like kept taking her. I don't really have an explanation for why I kept taking her because I'm gonna be honest, like other clients that I had, like her, I would block. Like it's just that. But she was cool or whatever. Like it wasn't, I don't know. I don't have an explanation of why I kept doing her. I don't know. Maybe in my heart I thought I could change her, but it never happened. I don't know. But anyway, now I am round brushing her hair now. Her hair at the top was a lot weaker than it was in the back. So in some places I'm round brushing, but then in some places you're gonna see me switch the brushes, and me switching the brush is just dependent on the tension level that I feel most comfortable using in certain areas of her hair. Remember, just like I told you on the first one, to go ahead and zoom in and look at my brush. Now, you will see a little bit more of her hair in this brush. Out of all of the videos that you've ever seen on my channel, I think this is the one video that you actually will see here in the brush, right? And in this case, I know that there are so many different women in my comments that always say like, oh, Sam, well, I color my own hair. And what do you think about this? And, oh, Sam, I color my own hair. What do you think about me using this product? Those are the only comments that I'm not willing to answer. If you color your own hair at home and you're asking me for different like pointers and stuff in the comments, those are the only comments that I'm not gonna answer. That is the only video that I'm not doing on my channel. Like I'm never gonna sit down and do a video explaining how to color hair to y'all, how to lighten hair to y'all. I'm never going to do that because it is so much more complex than you just mixing products in a bowl and putting them in your hair. It's so much more important than that. And I think the main problem with the black hair community in general is you guys don't understand the time lapse in hair. Meaning, I say that hair weathering takes 6 months to 25 years to show up. I say that all the time. And when I say that, you think that that means like, oh, from the day I started doing it to the day I stopped. And that's not what that means. I get women in the comments all the time, well, I've been doing it for 6 years and it's been good. So it's like hair weathering hasn't set in yet. But the majority of women who book calls with me, my clients, are between the ages of 55 and 75. I got a comment on, I think it was on Facebook, of somebody who saw my price for consultations. Now, it used to be $150. It did at the very beginning of my career, but now at the place that I am at in my career with the dermatologist that I work with and all of the different things that I have to offer, my consultations are $4,000. And I'm working with you through a 4-month period and we get results, right? But from that perspective, right, that's not the only way that you can work with me. That's top tier level of working with me. But there's so many different things you can do. The free way, there are hundreds of videos on my channel, hundreds of them. You can binge watch them and learn everything that you need to learn. It'll take you a while, but you can binge watch my channel. Or you can join my 7-day challenge or the Ghost Cycle Blueprint, which puts all of the key information that you need to learn in specific steps, and then boom, shikala boom, it's right there. Or you can download some ebooks. There's a plethora of different ways that you can work with me, or there's a plethora of ways that you can learn for yourself. You can start getting books and you can start doing the research for yourself, or you can go to cosmetology school and actually learn how to color hair properly. Because at the end of the day, cosmetology school does not teach you how to do hair. It don't. I don't care what anybody says. Doing hair is like singing, right? It's like singing. And I don't give a damn how many voice lessons you take. You're never gonna sound like Beyonce if you can't sing. It doesn't work like that. It's something you either got or you don't. And hair is the same thing. But the problem is YouTube has made everybody believe that everybody can do hair and everybody can't do hair. So because everybody thinks they can do hair, and now y'all also believe that everybody's a great cosmetologist because it doesn't take that much, now y'all all find yourselves in messed up situations. But most cosmetologists like myself, when we're in situations like this with clients that are always wanting to do their own hair, we end up not servicing them anymore. But again, I only saw her maybe once a year. And I'm just being honest, like by the time I noticed that it was her coming, it was already too late. It was probably like 2 clients before her. I'm like, oh, what's her name? Oh, that's her. Oh, okay, whatever. Whatever, I know what this is gonna be like. So these are the things that I want you to think about. And I remember when this video first went up on my channel, everybody was like, "Oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. It looks so good. You're saying it's damaged, but it looks so good." Well, you want to know why it looks good? It's because I am an illusion specialist. I don't think people understand that about cosmetologists. Our job is to create illusions, not even just cosmetologists, especially a hairstylist. Her job is to create illusions. Her job is to make it look like you got 20 inches of hair when you really got about 2 inches. Her job is to make sure that if you get a ponytail with a swoop, her job is to make it look like your ponytail is 20 inches long when your ponytail in real life is about as long as your thumb. Yes, sir. So these are the things that I really, 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 really want us to think about, right? It's my job to create illusions, right? I'm creating an illusion with the products that I'm using. I'm using products that are very, very highly polymer based because her hair is extremely high porosity, but not natural high porosity hair like I have, but damaged high porosity hair with a lifted cuticle, with split ends, with like all the way up to the hair shaft. So these are things that I want you to understand. But when she came and sat in my chair, I put a temporary coating on her hair that gave her the illusion of healthy hair. So this is why I'm always saying, like, I'm never going to teach you guys how to color y'all hair at home, because y'all color y'all hair and then you'll be like, oh, I color my hair all the time, but I use Afro G and my hair is okay. No, it's not. Your hair is not good. Afro G just put like a make believe cuticle layer on your hair shaft. And sooner than later, it's not even gonna work anymore. And then your hair is slowly gonna start to fall out. That's why you hear so many women say, oh, well, I don't color my hair. Mainly black women say, oh, I don't color my hair because color is damaging. No, color is damaging for you because you believe that you can get color and then still do teen natural styles. You believe that you can get color and still walk around with wet hair. You believe that you can get color and still air dry your hair. Like, y'all. So that's the reason that I won't teach it. And do y'all see that? Like, the damage in her hair was crazy. Crazy. And there was never anything that I could do about it. Never. It was just the bare minimum, like just a little bit of a trim, just the very, very bare minimum, and that was it, and that was all. But once again, most people would look at her hair and say, oh my God, it looks so pretty though. Like, it looks so pretty and healthy. It is a lie. Your hair lies to you, especially when you go into somebody who knows what they're doing. Again, as a cosmetologist, it is my job to create illusions. I have created the illusion of her having healthy, shiny hair with a enforced cuticle. That's my job, right? It is not my job to detangle hair that ain't been combed in 6 months, huh? It ain't my job to wash hair that ain't been washed in 6 months, huh? That ain't my job, but it is my job to create illusions, and that is what I did. And the thing is, the products that you guys buy, all of the YouTubers y'all have been watching, it is their job to sell products and create illusions. That's their job. And who do you think the illusion's for? You. The illusion's for you. You're the consumer, the person listening to the sound of my voice, the person that watches YouTube videos like mine and other YouTube videos that do teen natural. You are the viewer. You are the person that the illusion is for. They create the illusion for you. These are the things that I need you to get. But the thing is, you guys ride for and attack people like me for the people who create the illusions. And the cosmetologists like me are saying, hey, buddy, it's a movie. Like the little movie clip audio you're listening to in the background. It's a movie, baby. It's not real. But then when you go to a cosmetologist like me, we pull the screen back, give you that hot detox, and then you see the real texture of your hair. So here's our last beauty. Now, a lot of you have seen this video multiple times before, but I wanted to add her video on because I wanted to show you guys different textures, right? Because I will always get one of the sheep. Leave it in the comments. Leave the sheep in the comments that are like, oh my God, but why don't you give us somebody with 4C hair? First of all, stop saying 4C. 4C, 4B, 4W is not real. It's not real. Andre Walker made it up, and guess what? He didn't even include fours at the beginning. He didn't include fours at the beginning. At the beginning, it was just one A, one AB. It was just one AB. One is Asian women. It was two AB. Two would be Caucasian women, and then three AB, and three would be like Hispanic women or anybody else that got wavy hair. Fours was not even a part of his original chart until it started to get popular. They were like, oh my God, you got to add black women. Then he was like, okay, well, I'll do 3C and 4A and 4B. How about that? That's what happened. So black women, stop identifying yourself with an afterthought. Black women have made Andre Walker's afterthought their identity, and it is so sickening. Unpopular opinion, it is what it is. It's a fact. You don't believe it, go research it. Andre Walker made up the curl typing chart in the early 1990s. He was Oprah Winfrey's hairstylist, and fours were not even a part of it. And he made Fours were an afterthought, but Black women are the only women who even identify with his curl typing chart, and you were an afterthought. Black women, you've made his afterthought your entire identity. Your entire identity. And they built hair care regimens based on it, like the lock method. If you want to know why your scalp is dry and you do the lock method, that's why. Guaranteed. In the 7-day challenge, as soon as they stop all of the team natural practices and replace them with the ones that I teach within the 7-day challenge, their sebum level is increased immediately. Immediately, you guys. I get comments all the time when people are like, oh, I want to join the 7-day challenge, but it's expensive. Okay. So it's $100 to start. Or you can sign up through Sizzle and you can make 4 payments of $25. Or you can binge watch all of the content on my channel. Those are the options, right? At one point, the 7-day challenge was free. But on social media, on YouTube, we have people that don't really create anything. They just go online and they look at the things that other people create. They dissect it, they judge it, and they steal it. So to protect my intellectual property, especially because my 7-day challenge has cured CCCA and other types of hair follicle and hair shaft disorders that their dermatologist told them would never heal. So it is not something that I do for free, because it is something that is highly valued for me and for my gurus. But understand that it is a self-paced course. You are in control, and when you finish, you won't need me or anybody else. All right, you are joining a community and you are gaining access to a course that will change your life 1,000,000,000%, right? But again, do not feel pressured. The video here on my channel are free and you can watch them as many times as you need to. I have all of my videos, well, not all of them, but the important ones broken down into playlists, so you can go watch the videos on hair shaft disorders. You can go watch the videos on my herbal remedies for them. There are so many different options for you, right? You just have to pick the one that works best for you. But understand, baby, I ain't cheap, mama, okay? But as we're going along, you can see that I am blow drying her hair the same way that I blow dried the last 2 women's hair. So it's so funny to me, because when you go on social media, people say like, oh, well, she doesn't know how to do this type of hair. Or she doesn't know how to do 4C hair. Or she doesn't know how to do 4D hair. Or she only knows how to do 3A hair. Guess what? None of that matters. It is all the same. Contrary to popular opinion, this isn't going to make you feel good, my baby. You're not special. Just because your hair is curly, you're not special. Black women are not the only women on the planet with curly hair. And every brush that's used for a woman with straight hair can be used for a woman with curly hair. And if you disagree, you're a person who doesn't know how to use the tools properly, because I'm visually showing you right now. Check the video links in the description box below. I have even more textures. And I'm doing everybody's hair the same exact way, getting the same exact results. And nobody comes back with heat damage. There's never hair in my brush. Again, zoom in, pause it, tap in, zoom in to my round brush, and see how much hair is in my round brush. You'll see that there is none. So the things that you guys have made your whole entire identity surrounding natural hair, team natural, and all of that, is a myth. It's all been a lie. It's all been a lie. It's all been a lie. Like, none of it is anything of real life value. Because at the end of the day, nobody should just get up and let their hair just sit on the top of their head. There's nothing wrong with blow drying your hair. There's nothing wrong with using electricity. Like, the thing that I always say, whatever I create, yes, I want my children to carry it on, but I would be so mad at my daughter if she didn't go no further past where I went. And if she was like, oh, well, my mama only used round brushes, so that's the only type of brush that we use. If there's something new and innovative, then I'm going to use it. I want her to use it. What? Like if my daughter, if I was of the generation that was around before blow dryers were a thing, and then I was watching my daughter like, because our ancestors ain't use blow dryers, this is what we supposed to do. I would come and slap everybody in their sleep. Like, oh my God, you're supposed to keep evolving, keep growing, keep getting bigger and better. We have electric cars, and y'all are really about to stick with. They ain't had blow dryers back in the day. Oh my God, it just be making you want to jump off of something. I don't know what, but off of something high up. So now at this point, her hair has been all blown out. Again, she has a heat protectant on her hair that is going to protect her hair shaft and her cuticle. There is no heat damage happening, right? And as I am straightening her hair, I want you to pay attention to the way her ends look, all right? So this was another, the beautiful Team Natural Girlies, right? She believed the hype. Like, okay, the healthiest thing for your hair is to wash it and put a whole bunch of products on it. Just smother it in products. Smother it in products, separate the curls. And one thing that I used to tell my clients that they was like, dang, but okay, I hear you. Team natural practices that y'all do, like the lock method, that's not your natural hair. That's not your natural hair. Your curls are separated by layers and layers and layers of polymers. Your curls don't really look like that. They don't. That's how it looks when a bunch of products are on it. When the product isn't on it, that's your natural hair. So there's no difference from what you're doing, layering all of these products on your hair, and what a woman who blow dries and flat irons her hair does. Like you can't compare the two. You can't judge, because a woman who is just blow drying and flat ironing her hair, or a woman who is washing her hair and doing a perm rod set or a flexi rod set, they have two products on their hair after they blow dry it. You have like five after your wash and go, and then you're still spraying products on it after, like on a daily. Your method is not better. I know it seems that way, but it's not. Like right now with her hair, the only thing that's on it was shampoo and conditioner. After the conditioner was removed, all I put on and washed was a leave-in conditioner. I sprayed on it. And now I'm just spraying a little bit of heat protector on each strand as I get done. And then when I finish, I'm going to put like a half of a dime size amount of serum on my hands after I emulsify it. And then I'm going to wrap her hair, put her under the dryer so the cuticle can close. And there will be nothing else on her hair until the next time she washes it. That's three products. Three. And I'm not sure if I use the serum on her hair, because I only use serums for my clients that have frizzy hair. So if her hair is not frizzy, she only has two products on her hair: a leave-in conditioner and a heat protector. But how many products do you have on your hair with your lock method? Or how many products do you have on doing your team natural practices and your air drying and all of that? These are the things that I need you to ask yourself. And if it's so much healthier, why is it that the only time that I can really see the damage is when it's straight? If that's the best thing for your hair. Like, you can't really see your hair in its true identity without it being straight. You just can't. You can't. And it's okay if you don't agree. It's weird that you're still here, because you've been listening to me talk for over 40 minutes and you don't agree with me. You don't, like, that's so weird. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. But these are things that I really, really want you to think about, because it doesn't make sense. The pieces has to fit, but because everything is connected to rage or race baiting, then you're automatically like pushed into this like rage of like, no, because I'm black and I have to be this way. So you're shamed into believing it. And you're like, oh my God, no, I can never flat iron my hair, because if I do, this will happen. That's not true. I never gave heat damage ever. And the one time that somebody accused me of heat damage was before I understood the whole team natural thing, hair shaft disorders, holes in the hair shaft, because her hair was paper thin and I barely had the flat iron on. It was like 300, like as low as my flat irons could go, because her hair was super thin. So I know for a fact I didn't give her heat damage. But she was like, "You gave me heat damage and da 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 da." And then when it just so happened, thank God I was in school at the time, so I had my microscope with me, and I took some of her hair out of the comb that was wet before I straightened it, and I was able to put it under the electric microscope and show her that she had trichinosis, and she had all of the holes and the knots and all of it. And I was able to send it to her. That was the only thing that was, I mean, not that she was going to do anything, but still, it ended. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, you're bright." So these are the things that I need you to think about. Because after that, that's when I got a new policy that was like, nope, the only time that I will service anybody with silk wrap is if after they have a consultation. And at the consultation, I have to put their hair under a microscope and see what it looks like before I take them on as a new client, because I'm not going to be held liable for anybody's hair shaft disorder or for anybody's hair reverting back. And after they looked at it on the under the electron microscope, if they still wanted to get their hair done, even knowing that they had a hair shaft disorder and it was a possibility that they could get heat damage, then they signed a waiver. Yes, they did. Sure did. Buddy, sure did. But in this case, she didn't have a severe hair shaft disorder. I think I only had two people sign waivers, and they didn't get heat damage and they didn't come back and complain. But I just felt so uneasy about the whole scenario, so I stopped doing that. I'm like, nope, period. If you got heat damage or if you got heat damage, if you have any type of hair shaft disorder, I'm not doing it. Period. That's just not happening. So this is how her hair looked at the end. You saw how thick and beautiful and bodyful her curls were at the very beginning, but as you can see at her very ends, her hair is see-through, and if we do not cut it off, it will split all the way up to the follicle, and once it reaches the follicle, it turns into different forms of alopecia because the hair will split within the follicle. All right. So we were getting off, not all of it, but a pretty good amount, right? And it was enough for the day because I was able to get more off on the top. And that's why I always did, like, not always, but most of the time, whenever I had clients that had this type of damage, I will always do like a bob with layers, and that bob with layers is what would give me the ability to get rid of their length without making it look like they got a big chop. It just looked like they went and got like a new haircut, like they was trying to be edgy and trying to be cute, right? Nobody knew. It was like, oh, it's big chop. Because that drove me crazy too. Everybody was like, oh, big chop. And everybody just getting clippers and shaving their head, cutting all their hair off. It's like, oh my God, you don't have to do that. But anywho, this is the point where I'm going in and putting layers throughout her hair, and these are the things that I really want y'all to get. Yes, it feels good with you putting the products on your hair. It has to. You're putting a bunch of polymers on your hair. Absolutely, it's filling a whole bunch of holes. So yes, your hair is gonna feel great. It's gonna look bodyful because you have a bunch of products on it. But when you come see a cosmetologist like me, but you can't see me because I'm retired. This is an old video. 6 years old, over 6 years old. But so you can't come see me. But when you go see a cosmetologist like me, and then they strip your hair of all of these different layers of products that you use, then you're left with the reality of your hair. Why get to that point? At some point, some group of women has to decide, all right, I'm just gonna test it out, because what she's saying, she's not telling me to go buy nothing extra. She's saying stop doing all of the stuff that I've been doing. Her methods are telling me to buy less, not buy more. It makes no sense for me to argue with her or to try to attack her as if she's trying to say something wrong to me or trying to take something from me. Absolutely not. Yes, I promote the 7-day challenge on a regular basis. Why? Because in the comments, people are going to ask, what do I do? Can you tell me what to do? I'm sorry, but I can't. It's a guru thing. I only tell members of the 7-day challenge or members of the growth cycle blueprint. And within the growth cycle blueprint, the 7-day challenge is a part of that automatically. But it's a little more, right, to the story. On top of that, right, I break down hairstyling and how to determine what's the best type of hairstyle for you based on your scalp's profile and things of that nature. So it just goes even deeper. It's the hair growth cycle blueprint is the 7-day challenge on crack, right? Because it's the 7-day challenge is about breaking down old patterns and starting new ones. It's about curing your scalp infections fast, like seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff, all right, your CCCA, your folliculitis, all of those things. Is curing all of those things fast within the 7-day challenge. But then when we are talking about the growth cycle blueprint, those are all of the additional things that you need to make sure that all of the new patterns that you enforce stay intact. So, like different hairstyling practices and how to pick them, and the difference between hairstyles and what hairstyles you should and shouldn't do. Like, there are different layers to it. That's why I call it the growth cycle blueprint, because there are different phases through your hair growth cycle. And through each phase of your hair growth cycle, your body needs a different thing. And within the blueprint, I give you the blueprint for what your body needs through each phase of your hair growth cycle. All right. So you guys check it out. And it's up to you what you decide to do. Or again, sit on my channel and watch all of my videos. It's free 99. Have you feeling real fine? Okay. So again, now at this point, we're going through and putting layers of her hair. Now, not only are these layers going to get rid of a whole lot of her damage, but it is also going to give us a lot more fullness, right? Because you can see at the very, very top, that where her breakage is and how short it is up there at the top. I need y'all to think about something. Now, this woman is on the younger side. The last video that we did was about scalp disorders. The last scalp disorder was CCCA, right? CCCA stands for basically alopecia that happens in the middle of the head, scarring alopecia that happens in the middle of the head. I need you to pay attention to where the majority of her breakage is. The majority of her breakage was in the middle of her head. It was in the middle of her head. So, with that being said, if she would have kept on with her team natural practices without coming to see me or a cosmetologist like me or just changing her ways in general, if she keeps it up, that part that's shorter at the top is just going to keep getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And then the follicles will begin to die off until before you know it, CCCA will set in. But this is the beginning stages of CCCA. But most Black women don't pay attention to it. You see the flyaways, you see the short pieces in the middle, you decide to get braids or a wig and cover it up, or you think that the thing that you're supposed to do is go and get a bunch of oils and butters and greases and do things of that nature, and all that's going to do is make it worse. It's going to make it thin even faster. And these are the things that I'm talking about when we are looking at my channel and you say like, oh, you're always telling us not to do this and what not to do. That is because I see women at all stages. So if you see, again, right now, because I created an illusion, you cannot see the thin part in the middle. But you just saw that short piece at the very top of her head, right? 10 years from now, that will be CCCA. That's what I'm talking about. So when I say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, because hair withering takes anywhere between 6 months to 25 years to show up. This was in between her 6 months to 25-year process. That 6 months to 25 years, it don't look like balding right away. It looks like a little bit of breakage on the ends at first, and then it gets shorter and shorter through the crown. And then it goes from just little spiky pieces to really, really short pieces. And then it ends up being skin bald, and then you go see the dermatologist. But by that time, it's been about 25 years. By that time, it's been 30 years and you doing the same thing. And it's sometimes the chances of you reversing it, depending on how long you've let it go, is slim to none, depending on how much follicle death you've incurred through your practices. So I hope that this video podcast made sense. I hope that it put things a little bit better in perspective. But when we're talking about CCCA, when we're talking about alopecia, everything works until it doesn't. Make sure that you leave me a comment, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you're here for my next video. I love you guys so much. And yes, we have the scary music in the background because I want you guys to do better. Be great. And check out everything that I have for you in the description box. Bye.